So what do you think's next for the Miami Heat? There's rumors. Obviously, Joel said they need another superstar. Maybe it's Joel. I'm still seeing the Bradley Beal movement, potentially being there. I've already seen some, mock trades, things like that. There's the Kyle Lowry question. Do you stick with Hero? I mean, he was injured, so you can't give him a pass. Do you stick with Bam? Do you think that they change it up?
I think the easy answer is to say no, because a lot of the options that they could potentially take like a big swing for don't seem super realistic. Like Joel Embiid, what are the chances that he's going to leave Philadelphia? I would say it's
Yeah.
probably like a 0.001% chance he leaves this offseason. Now, maybe down the line at some point, if he gets frustrated and they're still not winning and Harden doesn't work out and all that kind of stuff, maybe. But as of right now, I don't see that happening. Bradley Beal, I've literally to this point, I still have not heard any indication he wants to leave. It seems like he is confident going with Washington. And so if that's the case, they're not going to trade him. Like if he wants to be there, they're going to let him stay. And then for Donovan Mitchell, I think that's the most intriguing one because just simply put, I think they need more perimeter creation. Obviously, Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero both are dealing with injuries throughout the series, so it's a little hard to like fully judge them. But there was just a lot of moments in which it felt like the only ways in which they were able to score was Jimmy just doing stuff himself. But that was kind of it. There wasn't a whole lot of like creating for teammates outside of, once again, Jimmy Butler just driving. I think it'd be interesting if they could get a guy like Donovan Mitchell because I think that he could help with a lot of that. But once again, I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know where Donovan Mitchell stands on staying in Utah or wanting to leave. I don't think a big swing is honestly the most viable option for them. So in my opinion, I think that they're going to have to go out and find some better role players. I've heard a lot about how deep this Miami Heat team was, and I think for a lot of the regular season they were, but in the playoffs things change. And with Kyle Lowry and the Tyler Hero stuff, the injuries there, I just think Gabe Vincent, he had a fantastic playoff run. I think he exceeded a lot of people's expectations, but I would consider him more of a scorer than a passer. And so I think they just need to go out and they need to find somebody who can pass and create for their teammates. We'll see what happens for Miami. I would say realistically, I think they're just probably going to run it back for the most part. I can't imagine that you're going to get like a ton of value out of moving a Kyle Lowry or some of the other pieces. So really, if you're going to take a big swing, it's around Tyler Hero, maybe Bam, if you're going after like Embiid. Yeah, I think they're probably just going to run it back and try and fix the bench probably.
The only realistic person they may move is Duncan Robinson. It seemed like he was just in the doghouse after, which was odd because he came out game one in the first round. I know it was against the Hawks, but still playoffs, had a great game. Didn't hear from him until late in this series when Spo was trying to find a spark offensively. He still really didn't really do that. He's making around $20 million a year. So It's a pretty sizable contract. So who knows? They may find a buyer for him. I think it's very realistic that they run it back with him. Honestly, end of the day, they could just attribute this, hey, we just got to get into the postseason healthier next year.
It's not necessarily like a terrible decision to do that because there could be some development from some of their guys. Bam is still incredibly young. And I think that this series specifically is maybe sort of a wake-up call for him, that he needs to develop more of an offensive game. Same with Tyler Hero. Obviously, he was hurt. So once again, we didn't get to totally see anything, but we could see development from him. So maybe he elevates his game even more. They have a lot of young pieces that Gabe Vincent, he's relatively, new into the league. So they have pieces who can develop to make their team better without having to make a move. But one key free agent too that I forgot to mention as well is PJ Tucker. I think he was pretty crucial to this run. Obviously great defense, fire, the leader, all that kind of stuff. And he provides the shooting that you need, from the corners. So we'll see what they do with him. I think Milwaukee sorely missed him after they let him walk. I don't feel like Miami's going to make that same mistake because he feels like the exact sort of player that they want in their culture. But we'll see because you never know. I mean, they like we talked about with some of these guys, they don't have a ton of flexibility. Lowry's making a lot of money. Robinson's making a lot of money. Bam and Jimmy are making a lot of money. Hero's due for a lot of money pretty soon here. So the only moves that you can really make are you're going to have to potentially do a trade. And like you said, that's probably going to be Duncan Robinson.